Alright guys, hot off the heels of a devastatingly shit week of work, here's my latest acquirement. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a Whopper. It came in, it was better packaged than this when I got it, but I spent about 10 minutes tearing through it, and I really think I should upload that. So, let's have a gander. I hope my camera won't cut out here, because it's had a problem recently, which is why my videos have been a bit more choppy than usual. Yeah, plenty of paper. My God, plenty of paper. There's one little bit. Paper. Now there's another little bit. Wow, this guy's really got a town on the wrapping here. Look at that. Just to say that this is a console. And he's wrapped every individual lead in parcel paper and sellotape. For some reason I find that hilarious. There's another bit. Maybe a controller. And here's the main course. Just put that down. Make sure there's nothing else underneath. Anyone wants some newspaper? It's up for grabs. Okay, so look at the state of this. Let's go that side. You know, I'm going to start with the unit this time, and then we'll go to the peripherals, because this is an interesting one. Interesting in the sense that it might just be completely terrible, but one has to know. So let's find out. Let me just rip this open. Okay, so what this is the Philips CDI. Now this thing was not well received, didn't have a lot of great games, but did have some interesting titles. Philips somehow got the license to Mario. They got to make a few Mario games, which had nothing to do with Nintendo. And they also got the license to the Zelda games. I think the idea was originally that Nintendo were partnering up with Philips for a CD drive, a lot like they did with Sony, which ended up being the PlayStation. Evidently the CDI didn't end up being that successful, or at all successful. And well, here it is. So this is the 470 model. I don't know how many there are. This is not one of the prettier ones, to be honest. But as you can see, look at that. You can still see the sort of matte finish. I mean, this thing's really well looked after. Probably because no one ever wanted to play it. But I do, so it works out well for me. So yeah, it just looks like a VCR or something. Or to you kids watching, that's I guess a DVD player or a Blu-ray player, if it were made in the 80s. So let's just have a look. Look at that thing. It really does just look like a VCR. This looks promising though. We've got your composite, your video in, your audio in. I mean, sorry, audio out, video out. TV antenna for some reason. Serial. I did notice at the front, well, it looks like an S-video socket as well. Oh wow, it's got an input. So this really is a VCR, so I can just run another console through this as well. You know, I might run the 3DO through it, since they're right about the same era. Anyhow, enough of my rambling about this console. You know, the more I look at this, the more I like the look of it, to be honest. Got this for a steal on eBay. It was up on auction, and I think my maximum bid was something like, I think it was £25, and it was £17 delivery. So, you know, it kind of adds up. But what happened was, I got outbid, and it ended up being like, I can't remember what it was, to be honest. No, in fact, I didn't get outbid, tell a lie. It came to an end, and basically I hadn't met the reserve, and he told me that the reserve was something like 50 quid, but in the end he let me have it for the bid that I put in. Sent me a sort of second chance offer, and I thought, wow, why not? So I picked it up, because that was the price I was originally willing to pay for it, and really, I think that's a steal, because these are quite expensive, and it did come bundled with some games. So what I'm going to do is quickly cut away while I undo these packages, and then let you see what came with it. Okay, so all the packaging's been undone, and here's the goodies. This is basically a remote control, and it looks really dated and weird. Look at that thing. It's a sort of alien utensil, but it's actually the controller. And what makes it even stranger is that slides down, and that's where the buttons are. This thing is bizarre. I guess I might use it for CD playback or something, a morbid curiosity. So on one side you've got all the buttons. Pop that up. On this side, obviously, batteries. Yeah, I've always seen these wand type things, which is basically a remote control, and they just look so strange. I don't know why. I mean, they don't even look cheap. It's not the cheapness of it. It's just so. Why is it that big? You know, it's kind of strange. But let's move on. Here we have the controller, which apparently this is the official controller. I gather that because it says on it. I don't know if you can make that out. CDI. Is it the official controller? Who knows? According to the seller, it is, and you know, I take his word for it. Quite a nice feel, to be honest. Ergonomically, not too bad. It's got the grooves there, so your sort of hands can fit in, which is really nice. 3 buttons. You know, it's weird when you hold these pads nowadays because you expect there to be shoulder buttons, but there aren't. Yeah, and it turns out that weird-looking S-Video-esque port on the front, if I can just untie this, is actually for the controller. Look at that. It's kind of weird. And what's cool about it is, and I don't know if the console actually shipped with this originally or he's just thrown this in, is you've basically got one of these that you plug in the front that allows 2 players to play. So that's really cool. Nothing particularly interesting other than that. A plug. And yeah, just a standard sort of figure 8 cable to go in the back. What is interesting though is the games he's given with it, and I'm going to change the order here because I'm quite excited about these. Dragon's Lair, and this is the sort of focal point for this console. It's FMV, it's that kind of interactive video, and that's what the CDI was all about, for better or worse. And I think, you know, one of the things that killed it may have been that, but additionally one of the things that killed it was the price. I think this thing, you know, I wouldn't even want to hazard a guess, but I think it was around about 400 quid when it came out. And you got to bear in mind, on the shelf next to it, there was the 3DO, probably also for about 400 quid. And, you know, people probably took a look at those and thought, I mean, I know I did when I was with my parents. We couldn't afford them when I was a kid, but I looked at them, you sort of and and then you see the Mega Drive or the SNES for about half the price, and you think, well, you know they're good, you know the software's there, you know, so you're going to pick it up. But yeah, that's enough of my rambling. So this is Dragon's Lair. I've been wanting to pick this up for absolutely ages. Almost picked up the Blu-ray version on the PS3. In fact, you know, it's not for the PS3, it's just Dragon's Lair on Blu-ray, but I resisted because it seemed like a waste of money. But luckily it's come free, effectively, with my CDI. So there you go, nice disc. Oh my sweet lord. Really grimy, but that can be cleaned off. None of that's actually scratches. So that's cool. So yeah, these are the cases, which are new to me as well. Basic CD case with that sort of embossed CDI logo on there. It's just really cool. It's like a trip back in time. Yeah, I've always liked this game, and I've never owned it, so can't wait to play that. They did actually release Dragon's Lair 2 for the CDI, but I'm pretty sure I was told it was terrible. I think Space Ace came out for it as well.